My son's wife had no clue the home they were living in was actually mine. She reported me to the cops. What followed turned my world upside down. Stay with me while I explain how this all played out. And if stories like this speak to you, please support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing with someone you value. It truly means more than you realize. Now, let me bring you back to where it all began. My name is Margaret Lewis. I am 56 years old, widowed, and someone who quietly built her life through resilience, patience, and real estate. I manage a small but thriving property business in Savannah, Georgia. My husband, Daniel, died suddenly from a heart attack 12 years ago, leaving me to raise our son, Aaron, alone. He became my anchor, my reason, my entire world. 3 years ago, my mother passed away and left me her house in Charleston. A red brick colonial with a deep porch, magnolia trees in front, and a kitchen that still felt like her embrace. That home raised me. It carried me through life after Daniel died. It was my shelter, and in my heart, it was the inheritance I intended to give my son. Aaron was 29 at the time, finally finding stability. After years of bouncing between jobs, he secured a solid role at an ad agency and began saving to leave his tiny apartment. He wanted something lasting. When he called to say he was ready, I made him an offer from pure love. Come live in the house. No rent. Treat it as home for now. When the time comes, we will decide the rest. His voice shook when he thanked me. I cried after the call ended. Giving him those keys felt like watching him fully step into manhood. What I never anticipated was the woman who arrived with him. Her name was Nadia. They met through mutual friends in Atlanta. She was refined, self-assured, and spoke with a smooth confidence that felt rehearsed. At first, I was grateful Aaron was not alone. But something about her energy felt like she had already written the ending. She settled in quickly. Too quickly. Soon, she answered the door as if she owned the place. My mother's antique furniture disappeared into storage. Family pictures were removed from the walls. The house stopped feeling like a home and started looking like a stage display designed by someone who never understood its meaning. One afternoon, I stopped by with homemade peach cobbler for Aaron. Nadia opened the door, smiled briefly, but her eyes were distant. "Oh," she said, hesitating. "You did not call." I raised the dish and smiled. "I was just stopping by." Her eyes flicked to the container, then back to me. "We are a bit occupied." She never asked me inside. That evening, Aaron called to apologize. I told him it was all right. I had no idea how much worse it would become. "Nadia just values her space," Aaron said quietly. "She wants to change the energy in the house." I smiled and let it slide, but something inside me clenched. That feeling you get when the ground begins to shift and no one else feels it yet. Not long after that, parts of the house started disappearing. My grandmother's quilt no longer rested on the stair rail, hidden away in the attic. My grandmother's quilt no longer rested on the stair rail, hidden away in the attic. The old rocking chair where my mother once knitted was removed, replaced with a plain white stool. Even the dining table, smoothed by years of shared meals, had been replaced with a glass surface and steel legs. When I asked Daniel, he only shrugged. "Nadia has a vision. She wants it to feel fresh." I said quietly, "This house already has a story." He stayed silent. Nadia was never outright unkind, but she knew how to make me feel out of place. She referred to it as our house so easily, as though decades of memory could vanish with one phrase. Then came the Sunday she finally crossed a boundary. I arrived for dinner like always, used my key, and walked in. The house looked like a catalog. Gray walls, marble counters, no family photos at all. The warmth had drained away. Nadia stood by the island, holding a glass of wine. "Oh," she said casually. "You still have a key?" "I do," I answered.
She took a sip.
"Daniel, and I feel we need more privacy now." Then she lifted her hand. A diamond flashed. "We're engaged. He proposed last week." I congratulated her, numb. Not because I was unhappy for my son, but because I saw how slowly I was being pushed out of the life I helped create. A week later, Daniel called and asked if I could come around less. "Nadia says we need space to find our rhythm." I agreed, even as the ache settled deep inside me. The next time I visited, after texting ahead, Nadia opened the door in a robe and slippers, standing firmly in the doorway. "Oh, Evelyn," she said coolly, "I did not expect you this early." I told her I had messaged Daniel. She gave a tight smile.
"Right.
"Well, you may come in, I guess." The moment I stepped inside, I knew the home I loved no longer existed. Everything touched by my mother had been erased. The soft blue curtains she sewed herself were replaced with stiff linen panels that felt cold and lifeless. Where our family portrait once hung, abstract art now stood. Sharp lines, black and white, empty of warmth. The room looked like it had never known laughter, noise, or quiet Sunday mornings. Then I reached the dining area and froze. My father's wooden hutch was gone, the one he restored by hand and passed down to me. I swallowed and asked, "Where's the hutch?" Nadia laughed softly. "Oh, that old piece?
We donated it."
It did not match the style. "Donated." She said it so lightly, but that cabinet held our history. Holiday plates, birthday candles, the chipped gravy boat my father refused to throw out. To her, it was clutter. To me, it was family. That night, sleep never came. I kept hearing my mother's voice, urging me to guard that house like it was part of my soul. Over time, my visits grew tense and rare. Nadia hovered whenever I came by. She corrected Daniel, cut off old stories, brushed aside memories like dust. "Let's look ahead," she would say sweetly. Daniel changed too. He became cautious around me, like one wrong word could disturb the peace. Then came the moment that broke everything. One Saturday, I returned to collect important documents. Papers I had always kept in a drawer in the study. I texted Daniel. No response. I used my key. The house felt empty. I walked past the staircase where I once photographed Daniel every school year. That wall now held only a stark canvas titled Ascension. When I reached the study, my drawer was gone. The room had been turned into Nadia's studio. Ring light, white backdrop, makeup and cameras everywhere. No papers, no files. I checked the closet. Empty. The cabinet by the window where I stored copies of the deed and our parents' was cleared out as well. My hands began to tremble. Then I noticed her laptop, still open. An online listing filled the screen. My mother's Tiffany lamp, passed down from my grandmother, was up for sale under an account called Zuras and Home. I kept scrolling. My father's military flag, our holiday silverware, artwork from the foyer. She was dismantling my family one item at a time. When the front door opened, I stayed still. Her heels clicked as she called out, "Daniel?" I stepped forward. Her face tightened. "Evelyn, why are you here?" "I came for paperwork," I said evenly. "Where is Daniel?" She folded her arms. "Out with friends." I held her gaze. "Does Daniel know you are selling our family belongings?" She hesitated. "I do not know what you're talking about." "I saw the listings," I replied. "My mother's lamp, my father's medals. You are selling memories you never earned." Her jaw set. "They belong to Daniel now. He gave permission." I reached into my bag and unfolded a document. That is strange, I said quietly, because the deed is in my name. She froze. I never transferred this house, I continued. Daniel lives here because he is my son. This home is mine. Those items were never his to give away. She tried to interrupt, but I raised my hand. You may have cleared the walls, but you will not erase me. Daniel walked in 20 minutes later and sensed it instantly. What is happening? He asked. Before I spoke, Nadia snapped. Your mother broke in. She searched my laptop and accused me of stealing. She even claims this house is hers. I turned to Daniel. You never told her the truth? He frowned. What truth? I opened the folder. This is the deed. Your grandmother left the house to me. You never corrected her, did you?
His face drained.
She thought it was mine, and I let it go. Nadia stumbled back. You lied to me. I never said it was not ours, he fired back. You assumed. I stepped forward. She sold our heirlooms. Your father's flag. Your grandmother's lamp. Daniel looked at her. You sold them. I did what you wanted, she cried. You said make it ours. I meant paint, he shouted. Not erase my family.
The doorbell rang. Once.
Then again. Nadia rushed to answer, relief fading as two officers stood outside. Good evening, one said. We received a call about a property dispute. I made the call, I said calmly. Daniel stared at me. I gave every chance for honesty, I said. But I will not watch my parents' legacy disappear. The next day, we met my lawyer and moved fast. A restraining order was filed and approved. The court cited manipulation, trespassing, and selling family property. It happened quicker than I expected. Then another truth surfaced. A shaken neighbor called. She had seen Nadia late at night, loading framed boxes into her car weeks earlier. Not just furniture. My father's Navy medals. My mother's figurines. The baby blanket I made for Daniel. Our life. Quietly removed. With police present, we traced a storage unit rented under a false name tied to her email. Inside were our memories crammed into bins. Daniel held his bent baby photos. I thought she cared, he whispered. She wanted control, I said softly. We recovered most of it. Some items were damaged. A few were gone, but the heart of our history came home. In the weeks after, we rebuilt the house, ourselves. Photos returned. The quilt went back on the stairs. Daniel chose therapy. Slowly, I watched him come back to himself. As we healed, Nadia's story unraveled. 2 failed marriages. An old restraining order. The husband she claimed was dead was alive in Texas. Even her resume fell apart. Everything had been staged. She tried to fight the order, but it collapsed when the fake documents and heirlooms surfaced. Then she disappeared. No apologies. No noise. Just gone. Some mornings, I wondered how close my son came to losing himself. I gave him a home built on memory, and someone tried to turn it into leverage. Then one Sunday changed everything. Daniel arrived with sunflowers, his grandmother's favorite. He said he had found a place nearby. Not to escape, but because he was ready. This house is yours, he said. It always was. We set up a trust the next week. By autumn, the house breathed again. Laughter returned. Music filled the rooms. Healing took root. Daniel found himself again. He went back to freelancing, building brands for small Black-owned businesses. No chasing approval, just creating. Watching him heal healed me too. One quiet evening, fireflies lit the yard as we sat with sweet tea. Do you ever think what would have happened if you hadn't come that day? He asked. I looked at the old tree where his father once pushed him on a tire swing. Things rise when we are ready to face them. He nodded. Thank you for not giving up on me. I never could, I said. Months later, we hosted a real family gathering. Laughter filled the house. Kids ran free. Food warmed the air. Nadia was never mentioned. She belonged to a closed chapter. The house stood whole again. Not just owned, but claimed. If stories like this matter to you, please like, comment, and subscribe for more real-life stories about love, legacy, and finding your voice.